Hey everyone, I just want to say welcome to your Stat 2 Online Spring 2025 course. I'm Dr. Lori Ann Austin and I am looking forward to being your instructor this semester. I just wanted to send you a quick hello, welcome you to the course, and give you a little bit of an overview of our Canvas course so you know exactly what to do. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So when you open your Canvas course, you're kind of just put on this little welcome page that gives you a summary of the different tabs that we'll be using in the course. So let's go ahead, and the first thing you want to do is just get into modules. This is where we have everything. Your course material, which we'll talk about in a second. The syllabus, some important information regarding testing, and formula sheets and all that other fun stuff. So let's start by just taking a brief look at the syllabus. Now, as a student, you are expected, I know you have a lot of syllabi depending on the number of the courses you have, you are certainly expected to read through these syllabi on your own. So I'm going to just highlight some parts of it, my information, my office hours. If you happen to be on campus, I am usually available in my office from 1 to 2:30. I am teaching in a classroom from 9 to 1 every day. And then if you want to meet with me at any other time, I'm happy to do that. Just send me an email here through the Canvas inbox and we will set up a time that's convenient for both of us. Obviously, you've taken Stat 1. Now, in Stat 1, we did use some OER material. With this course, because we do need statistical software and some other things, we will be using a Pearson product called MyStatLab. This will obviously cost some money. The best way to do it, I'll show you in a second, is just kind of to access it directly through the registration here on the side. If not, you can purchase it through the bookstore, and if you are on any financial aid, you are required to purchase it through the bookstore. But if not, I strongly recommend saving that markup that the bookstore is going to cost you and just purchasing it directly through this Access Pearson button off to the side. You will get choices. You only need the 18-week. This course does not, there is no other course that'll follow from this book, so just purchase the lesser version. It'll give you access for one full semester. Then I'll give you access to your textbook, to the statistical software that we can use, and to your homework and quizzes. So let's continue on. As far as calculators go, a scientific calculator, you can use a graphing calculator. That is entirely up to you. We will not really be using Minitab. We will actually use StatCrunch because it comes with our MyStatLab. So that is the statistical software that it links really nicely with your homework problems. You will not need it on exams, but it will link nicely with your homework and quiz problems. Okay, all of this, again, you are expected to read on your own. We will be picking up where you left off in Calc 1, and we will kind of review confidence intervals and hypothesis testing. Then for this particular course, we will get deeper into all different types of hypothesis testing, pretty much the entire course. So depending on the type of data you're giving, you're going to, by the time you take the final, you're going to have to determine exactly what test is needed to solve the problem. So, again, just kind of keep a look through here. Because you will be doing a lot in MyStatLab, your homework is worth 15%, the quizzes are 10%. Both of these are in MyStatLab, so let me just give you a little hint of the difference. The homework problems you get to redo over and over and over again until you get 100% of them correct. The quizzes are a little different. You need to take your time and you only get one shot at a quiz problem. So that's the difference between the homework and the quizzes. They're going to look very much the same, but it's something you need to be aware of. When you sit down to take that quiz, it is truly testing you. If you get it wrong, you don't get to redo the problem. Of course, the exams will be taken here through Canvas, not through MyStatLab. They will be Canvas exams. When we get closer to our first test, I will send you an announcement with details on how to deal with the test. Everything must be written down, and you need to turn in your work. You will not get credit for the test or the problems on the test unless I see all the work, and I'll be very clear about what I expect there. And the same for the final. So you can go ahead and read through all of that. And let me just get to the schedule. So here's our schedule. These weeks will correspond with modules in the Canvas course. So each week you'll have a set of topics. You'll have some of the MyStatLab homeworks to do, and you'll have a quiz to do. So that'll be your weekly assignments. There will be 3 exams plus a final. All right, so let me come over here to modules, and let's look at the student view for a second. There we go. So here's what it will look like for you. Your grades will always be up to date. Even as you do the homeworks in MyStatLab, they will constantly update and sync to Canvas. So you'll always know exactly what your grade is in this course. We will not be using the RVCC Testing Center. I'm allowing this course to be fully online, so you will take all your exams in Canvas. We will talk about that as we get closer. Please keep in mind that Canvas does track when you leave the Canvas site and go to other websites, and you will not be allowed to go to other websites. So that will be tracked, and there is an expectation that you will take the test with your formula card in front of you, which is very detailed. I strongly suggest printing this formula card out right now and having a copy and get used to using it. It is very detailed. You do not have to memorize any formulas for this course. It has not only the formulas you need to use, but all of the tables. By the time you are finished Stat 2, you will know how to use most. You've already used the Z table, and you have used a T table. We will be moving on. This is probably the only one you don't have to use. But we will be moving on to using our chi-square table. Actually, there's a couple of them we're not going to use because we're not doing random number generators and dealing with normal scores. But you will be using your chi-square, and you will be using the F table. So again, you have to learn how to use these formulas. So it is super important that as you're going through this course, you have this formula sheet in front of you, because when you're taking an exam, this is what you should have in front of you to help you with exams. Also, please note that many formulas have multiple. See, there's summation of y1 hat minus y bar squared, but then there's also this summation. As you learned in Calc 1, there's often a defining formula and a calculating formula. So please do make sure you understand which one is better, especially when we get up here. We have defining formulas and we have computing formulas. So it's really important you learn how to use this formula sheet. So have it with you as you're going through all your problems in MATLAB. And then have it out in front of you when you're taking an exam. If you need an online p-value calculator, there's a one right there. You can. This is information on how to find a p-value using your TI table. Because keep in mind, the tables will only give you a range of p-values. They will not give you estimates. You would have to actually use a p-value calculator for those estimates. On the exams, estimates are fine. I do not expect you to use p-value calculators. Okay, so here's our modules. This course, I put week 1 and week 2 together because week 1 is really short. Introduce yourself. I believe some people have already started. So you'll have a video. These video will actually we'll go through some of the PowerPoint slides and I work through problems. You are really encouraged when you watch these videos to hit pause and try to work through the problems on your own before I work through them. And they really detail how to use the formulas, how to use the formula sheet, how to use the tables. And then I have detailed notes as well, and then the homeworks. So again, it kind of all follows the same pattern. You'll answer a forum question when you get so far. So after you're done 8.3, you'll be ready for the first forum question. That's, they're very general. Did you read the book? Because in stats, it's really helpful if they actually read. As detailed as the notes are, as detailed as my videos are, reading the book can also help you as well. And your quiz sections. All right, and this just kind of repeats itself. So it repeats until you take an exam. I've got some reviews and then information. You will do not click on this until you are between February 15th and February 17th and ready to sit down and take the exam. Once you start the exam, you cannot stop it. So make sure you have the time. You get 90 minutes for the exam with a little bit of extra time to upload your work. All work must be uploaded before you submit the exam. So let's go back up and talk about this math lab for a minute. So my stat lab, also known as my math lab, for those who've taken courses here before, is now referred to as Access Pearson. So to get started, you will have to kind of follow the directions on this handout. Everything is synced. So what do I mean by that? When you click a homework, I have to leave student view, sorry. I gotta get out of student view for this to work. All right, when you click a homework, the homework will sync directly into Canvas. Open Pearson. Just takes a minute. Remember with the homeworks, and there's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 homework assignments. I'm not sure if any of these, let me just click on one real quick so I can show you. You'll be using StatCrunch more than you did in any other. I probably picked a section that doesn't need StatCrunch. Hold on. Of course it did. Yeah. All right. So let's do this. Let me go down to, whoops, sorry. Here we are. All right, go back to modules. I'll try to upload a video at some point giving you some help with StatCrunch. It is a really useful tool and one that you're going to want to start using for your homeworks anyway. Let's try this one. On the exams, you will not need to use StatCrunch because I will not give you so many calculations that it would take you forever to do. So there's no need to worry about using StatCrunch on the exams. Of course, I'm not going to find a video now. So what I will do is upload some information regarding StatCrunch. Before you get into the problems that really utilize it. It's really helpful. It just opens up your data into a statistical software and just makes it much easier to work with. So your homework, and you can kind of play around with it. Here we are. This is where all your homework will be found and your quizzes. And this is where you can also, by going through that Access Pearson, where you can get a copy of your e-textbook. You want to look, view the e-textbook for your course, and you can see it there. And it's where you can also get access to, so we can pull a StatCrunch set of data from the textbook, just like you will for your homeworks. Sorry, it's probably best again if I just make one. Open StatCrunch. Oh, because I hit the wrong button. That would be helpful. Here we go. So we can get into something maybe you're familiar with is hypothesis testing. We'll just pull one of these exercises. I have no idea what it is, but it's okay. And what it does is it'll take your MATLAB home, whatever problem is, and put all the data. And you can run all sorts of, whether you're doing a z-test or a t-test with one sample. You can do it with data. That'll pull this data. You can run a hypothesis test. You have to determine what kind of a hypothesis test this is. You have to determine what the mean is. I don't know, looking at this data, I'll just come up with a mean of 40. And let's see, it's less than 40, or you can run a confidence interval. And it'll give you your t-test statistic, your p-value, and it'll give you all the information. So this is something we will get to, and I'll try to get you some information on that as we go through the semester. So, get started. This is a continuation of your Stat 1 course, but we will be utilizing the Pearson text and the Pearson website, so we can also utilize StatCrunch. Because when you leave RV and go into whatever field you're going into, whatever transfer institution you're going to, if you have to run any statistics, you will use statistical software, and all statistical software is very similar. So this will give you a nice kind of introduction to using statistical software. Okay, so I said 15 minutes, but we're at 17. So I'm, the last thing I want to point out is I will send announcements throughout the semester. That's how I'll stay in touch. That's how I'll give you hints. That's why I'll give you ideas of what's on upcoming tests. So please, please do keep up with those announcements. Always email me through Canvas if you have any questions or concerns. And I always try to email you back within 24 hours. So I look forward to a great semester and look forward to working with you. Good luck.